Our next stop takes us to a Houston landmark simply known as the Beer Can House. This hidden gem is proof that one man's trash is indeed another man's treasure. The Beer Can House began in 1968 as a project undertaken by the house's owner, John Milkovich. It's well known that Texans like their beer, especially in the summer heat, and this guy drank a lot of it. The house is comprised of an estimated 50,000 cans and took 20 years to complete. The project actually started here. You'll notice the yard doesn't have any grass. That's because he covered it with a combination of cement, rocks, metal pieces, and marbles. The reason? In his own words, he got sick of mowing the grass. And while he was finding a way to never have to mow grass again, he decided he didn't want to have to repaint his house ever again either, hence the beer can siding. He essentially combined his passion of not mowing the grass or doing physical labor with his other passion of drinking beer. A house built out of laziness and vice. I love it. So Rudy, what was the inspiration behind the Beer Can House?
It actually began in '68. He saw that he was about to retire soon and saw that he had all these different chores that he was going to have to be responsible of once he did retire and moved full-time into his house. And one of the things he hated doing the most was actually mowing the grass. And so he decided to cover up everything in concrete so that would kill off, I guess, one of the responsibilities that he had to do. Then later on, when it came to the house itself, he didn't want to have to worry about painting or replacing any of the siding or on the outside. So what he decided to do was actually use the beer cans for the siding instead. And that way, the aluminum didn't rust, it would hold up great against the rain.
And say what you want about the siding, but John knew what he was doing. It works as aluminum siding, which of course it is. This helped the family save on electric and heat, drastically lowering their energy bills.
A lot of people, especially now, they see it like as a work of art, but John never saw it that way. It was always really to protect his house and having him not have to do chores the traditional way.
Right, multi-purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice. Did he have a favorite beer?
So I wouldn't say he had a favorite beer per se, but he always was quoted saying that he preferred cheap beer or anything that he could get in bulk.
So did he dispense of all the beers himself, or did he have help?
The biggest part he did do himself. He would get help from friends and family. The cool thing is that all the beer was actually drank on property. So it wasn't like the friends were like, hey, let's save these cans for John. No, they would actually bring them all here, the beers, and then consume it on property.
John fully utilized every piece of every beer can. This included making wind chimes out of the tops and creating artwork out of intricate hand-cut pieces of aluminum. And as for the soda cans, well, those were his grandchildren's contributions. So now what is this display right here?
So this is actually the Centennial edition of a Falstaff beer. Mm-hmm. I actually spoke to Ron, who is John's son, and he was telling me that John just loved the beer design of it, that it was a beautiful can, and that he had to use it in the house. And so this is actually the same can that was used for this particular curtain that's right behind me. But as you could see, it was actually made out of steel. Yeah. And so it rusted over the years, and so that's why it's no longer on the outside of the house.
I was just thinking it didn't look like aluminum here.
Yeah, exactly. But John really loved the design and the look of the beer, and so he wanted to keep it.
John Milkovich wanted to have something to be remembered by, and I would say this hobby of his did exactly that. 30 plus years after its completion, it's still holding up strong.